Thank you for joining me as we talk through representing an organizational and organizational communication. My name is Amanda Luellen, and I am the new manager of organizational communication for Acme Widget. Today's topics are really going to focus on three things: education to you on what organizational communication is, why it's important to an organization, and then steps that we can take to achieve a consolidated approach to organizational communication at Acme, both internally and externally. So what is it and what are the functions? So Business Dictionary defines organizational communication as a process of activities that a society goes through to gather and coordinate and reach goals of both individuals and the overall collective group. While it is a subfield of general communications, it's often a larger component to effective management in a corporate environment. The functions of organizational communication within a business really focus on 5 types of messaging: motivational, controlling, interaction, providing information, and then also providing feedback. The types of messaging are defined here. So when you think about motivational, it's used to really motivate workers for achieving performance targets. It can also help focus clarity of expectations of employees, and then also offer incentive for achieved results. Sales incentives and sales compensations are definitely motivation to a sales organization. The controlling type of messaging is really used to maintain control over what the employees are doing in the overall work environment. So you can think about controlling as these are your human resource policies and procedures that are really defining, how we develop communication around email, how we do handle vacation time or sick time, and all of the things that go into policies and procedures. The interaction type of messaging is used in allowing employees to the ability to interact with customers and coworkers. It's really essential that coworkers are aligned for projects and other training activities, and that they understand the interaction between all of the components of their job. Providing information is really used to disseminate information to employees. It can be either verbally or written. It's essential in communicating changes within policies or within changes within the organizational structure. Finally, providing feedback is used in allowing all levels of the organization the opportunity to give and receive feedback. You can think of this in regards to new policies and procedures, or you can also think about providing feedback where employees are encouraged to give open and honest communication around newly implemented technologies or new policies. Next, we'll move into organizational transparency. So transparency, Balance.com defines transparency as the ability for organizations to have their actions observed by outsiders. So transparency is essential to accountability, as it really allows for judgments about whether the organization is achieving all of its objectives and obligations. You can think of this in the nature of quarterly reports that corporations do to Wall Street. There's the transparency of the financials and where they're moving, how their performance is going from a stock perspective. And really, it's made up of 3 dimensions: disclosure, clarity, and accuracy. When you think about information disclosure, this includes the choice of what types of information is shared and with whom it is shared. Again, as I was talking through an example of transparency being a stock report or a market release for financials, it really isn't going to disclose everything that the company wants to, that the company has information on, but it is going to provide insights into the key components that is needed in order to communicate results. Clarity is really identifying how easily the information is to comprehend. So it's ensuring that the communication values the quality of expression. You've got to pay attention to the varying audience, and then also sensitivity to cultural and other differences will help the organization achieve transparency. And then finally, accuracy. This means that the information has integrity, it's truthful, and represents the organization's decisions, policies, and practices. And when transparency exists, It's managers within the company that do not embellish or provide misleading information. So again, key example here is reporting of financials to Wall Street. That information has to be extremely accurate in order for the Wall Street in order for shareholders and then Wall Street analysts to recommend a stock for purchase. So now we'll talk about how, strategies connect with branding, marketing, and really what do the two share together. So when we think of branding, branding is really strategic in nature and helps ultimately determine whether someone will become a loyal customer or not. It helps express the truth and value of the organization, the product or service that will communicate characteristics and values and attributes that clarify what the brand is or isn't. The brand also helps encourage sales of a product, but it doesn't say buy me. Instead, it focuses on things such as, this is what I am, here's why we exist, and if you agree, then feel free to buy me and please support me. Marketing is actively promoting a product or service. It's more tactical in nature. It uses a push tactic to get a message out to, achieve the results that the organization is wanting. And a well-executed marketing activity is an investment that's really going to pay for itself in sales and then also in brand reinforcement. So how do marketing and branding connect? They really go hand in hand when developing a strategy for marketing and how you want to approach a targeted audience. Where the brand focuses on the value of the company and how those values will be relayed, marketing really uses the overall value of the company in driving a strategy that's going to target an appropriate audience for a targeted product. Relying on the brand of the company really assists the marketing team in defining the components of how they go to market with products. So shaping the Acme brand and steps for success. To define the brand of Acme, the company really needs to define their strategy. And the strategy will help set the competitive direction, the product planning, internal and external communication plan, and the focus of the company. When we define the strategy and develop an internal communication plan, then it should be updated on the intranet to make sure that all employees are aware of the new mission, vision, and values. And then we should also consider conducting seminars with employees to provide guidance on why the brand is so important and how the mission, vision, and values tie into everything that they do. So the steps for success at Acme and how we can influence the success of the organization are really going to be to define the internal culture, identify what makes our organization unique, let's cultivate it and also celebrate it. We need to help employees understand the unique business story and how they can make it their own. As we talk about the story, we want to tell the Acme story. So don't just produce an employee manual that has policies and procedures, but develop a culture book that really sets the expectations of how every team member can live up to the brand promise. Walk the talk. Actions always speak louder than words, so having employees understand that the smallest interaction that they make with every customer is an opportunity for us to affirm the brand. Spread the word. Ensure that consistent messaging is being delivered to customers. So build out the tools that employees need to convey that consistent messaging. Encourage input. We want to broaden the spectrum for where input is given and received by giving support staff the opportunity to contribute as well. And then finally, share the love. Ensure that employees and leaders share the same sense of team. And employees who feel the love of their organization are more likely to ensure that they can develop similar feelings among the Acme customers. So why organizational communication? So Acme continues to grow and succeed in their targeted market segment. Continuing to achieve successful sales results requires that we have consistent organizational communication across all areas of the company. So developing an organizational communication area, hiring someone like me to manage both the internal and external communication will ensure that the right message is getting to the right parties at the right time. In closing, Acme is poised to achieve greater results in the future. And by developing consistent messaging across both internal and external channels, we will achieve the results that Acme is seeking. Our organizational communication team looks forward to partnering with each of you in your areas as we move forward in this new direction.